College football, ESPN.com is the source. Lawyers representing Ole Miss quarterback Trinidad Chambliss sued the NCAA on Friday, asking for a judge in the Chancery Court of Lafayette County, Mississippi, for preliminary and permanent injunctions that allow him to play one more season for the Ole Miss Rebels. The NCAA denied Chambliss a waiver of a 6-year of eligibility on January 9th, ruling that Ole Miss officials and Chambliss didn't provide adequate medical evidence by a treating physician that showed he was suffering from a, quote, a bad injury or illness, end quote, which is required for approval of a waiver. Chambliss claimed he dealt with persistent respiratory issues as a sophomore at Division II Ferris State in 2022, which is why he didn't play that season. There's a quote, says, quote, in Trinidad's case, the NCAA failed in its mission to foster his well-being and development as a student athlete, end quote, the lawsuit says. Further saying, quote, the mechanisms for granting Trinidad an additional year of eligibility so that he had the opportunity to compete in 4 years of college football are available and within the NCAA's control, end quote. They're basically talking about the waiver rules. Now, here's a few things that Trinidad Chambliss got in support of his medical waivers or whatever the case. In the supporting letter, Chambliss' doctor wrote that he suffered, quote, recurrent throat infections, poor sleep quality, daytime fatigue, and exercise-related airway discomfort, end quote, throughout the 2022-2023 academic year. In an exhibit attached to the lawsuit, Brett Knight, Ferris State Assistant Athletic Director for Sports Medicine, wrote that Chambliss, quote, combination of acute and chronic illness impeded Trinidad's ability to consistently engage in athletic activity, including weight training conditions and football practice, end quote. Ferris State coach Tony Anise wrote in a statement that Chambliss was suffering from post-COVID-19 complications that included, quote, heart palpitations and chest pains, end quote. What the hell is that? In addition, he was suffering from chronic tonsillitis and adenitis and severely impacted his breathing, sleep, and overall physical condition, Anise wrote. Chambliss is already signed to play for the Rebels in 2026. His deal, including incentives, might be worth as much as $6 million. Extremely wordy. Here's the thing. I didn't know nothing about this quarterback until after Ole Miss lost recently. I believe that was to Miami or whoever that was, to Indiana, whatever. Both is Indiana versus Miami in the championship. But afterwards, I just happened to look him up, and he's from Grand Rapids, Michigan, right here in the home state. So I had a certain compassion for him, connection, if you must say. But then I saw that he is entering like his 6th, 7th year, something like that, but 6th year athletically. And I'm like, what the heck, bro? Give it up. Get your ass up out of there. It's time to go, sir. It's time to go. I'm sorry. Trinidad, listen, the reason you're so good, he finished 8th in Heisman voting last year as well. That's because you so grown, boy. You so grown. You so grown. Now you trying to fight, trying to sue the NCAA for a 6th season? Just get out of there, bro. This is what I don't like. You old players and all of those illnesses that they just named. Why are you even playing football? You seem like you one player away from a Tua Tagovailoa injury, bro. You don't need to be playing football. You need to be using that degree to get a job. J-O-B. A J-O-B. That's what I think. So go get a job. Get your degree and get a job, fam. The league ain't going to be for you if you got all of these illnesses. Don't act like you're fine if you get to the league. I mean, I know they say your incentives and everything could be worth $6 million. I'd probably try to come up with some doctor's notes too. I get it. but you just look like on an athletic level, you just look bad. Now, I'll say this. I'll give you this much credit. If you only play collegiately and do not go to the pros, whether that's you don't get drafted or you choose not to even go to the draft, I would almost respect this more. I would respect it more because you just trying to get your bread while you can, and then you done. I will respect it more. But the fact that most players actually want to go to the NFL, and if you go to the NFL and you try to act like you're fine and don't use this as an excuse, all your illnesses, like, I think that's going to be something to look at. But that's just if you ask me. Let me know what you think. Should he have the right to have 6 years to play as an athlete in the NCAA? Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show, 313-466-43.